Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. It's not just longtime residents voting with their feet to leave California, but insurance companies too. They can't take the heat, literally. State Farm will no longer be providing California state residents with homeowners insurance effective as of last month. The decision is based on factors such as inflation and the exorbitantly high cost of business. But hack media outlets are instead blaming climate change as the real culprit. This is because the insurer also cited increased catastrophe exposure in reference to costly wildfires, which are far more destructive in California than in any other state. Which is very strange if global warming really is to blame. It's almost as if there's something uniquely wrong with how California is governed. Oh wait, that's exactly the case. California is notorious for suppressing the use of controlled fires to get rid of brush accumulating like a tinderbox waiting for a match. Also, whereas some states like Texas are 95% privately owned, nearly half of California's land is owned by the federal government, which everyone knows is always prompt and on top of things. They would never ever let problems fester until disaster strikes, would they? And then on top of all of that, you have corrupt mega corporations like PG&E, which pleaded guilty in June 2020 to felony involuntary manslaughter for killing 84 Californians in the 2018 Camp Fire, as per local ABC 10 reporting. And they were also funding Governor Gavin Newsom's campaign and in turn receiving new financial protections from the state after they got dozens of people killed. According to the same article, in the months after the crime, Newsom not only signed new financial protections for PG&E into law, his office hired private lawyers in New York who wrote the legislative language, end quote. So yeah, they can stick the climate change excuse where the sun don't shine. The decision might be related also to Governor Newsom trying to force both State Farm and Allstate to lower premiums, causing both agencies to take their business elsewhere. California is also the only state in the U.S. to prohibit insurers from setting rates based on the cost of reinsurance, which brings us now to the state's crime epidemic. Both Allstate and State Farm were reportedly getting claims from almost every retailer in the state due to loss and theft at the hands of repeat offenders who will rob the same store multiple times if given the opportunity because they know it's an easy mark the first time they get away with it. To that point, why would a private company try to protect someone's private property when the state itself won't? This is what happens when progressive district attorneys in, say, Oakland or San Francisco empower criminals. One would think voters in these liberal areas would become more moderate as the problems become closer to them. And this might be happening in San Francisco as residential property values are down 16.7% from their peak in 2022. According to the Hoover Institution, this is 13.4 percentage points higher than the average decline in the rest of the country, where home values have only fallen by about 3.3%. This means San Francisco homeowners have lost about $260 billion collectively. This is partially due to rising interest rates, but it also speaks to the mass exodus out of the city in recent years due to skyrocketing crime. San Francisco has lost about 65,000 people in the past 3 years, and while this might not sound like a whole lot, it's more than 7% of the city's total population. What's more, high-income earners appear to be leaving in record numbers, resulting in a loss of $15 billion in household income between the years 2019 and 2021, according to income tax returns. Again, this exodus is not due to climate change, but instead due to high inflation, high taxes, economic and environmental mismanagement, and political corruption among local lawmakers. So we can say goodbye to huge insurance providers until we clean the feces and use needles off our streets. In the meantime, we'll hear more about how the state needs to spend more money mitigating climate change instead of hearing ideas for concrete policy reform.